Hello everyone, it's your boy Mr. Lamb over here trying to teach you some math. Hopefully you guys did fine on your unit exam earlier today, and now you are well on your way to start our next unit, Unit 7, Part 2. Today we will be talking about solving equations in factor form. And in order for you guys to learn how to solve equations in factor form, you first need to know what this new sucker over here, ZPP, what this stands for, okay? So I want all of you to copy down ZPP because it stands for something. So Z stands for 0. P is product. And the other P stands for property. So zero product property will be one of the most important things for you to understand before we can move on with the rest of the notes. So I'm going to try my best to help you guys understand. So let me write this on the side. If x times y, it's equal to 0. So notice there are two different variables that multiply equal to 0. So you may think, okay, what will one of the variables be? So you can think about it is, what if I drag this down and I make x equal to 0? Does it really matter at that time what y is? Because if x is 0, 0 times y, it doesn't matter what y is. Y can be 10, y can be Miss Ruddy, y can be negative 20. Anything times 0 will give you 0. So we have one option where this parentheses inside equal to 0. That will make the equation true. And then we also have the other one. What if we make this parenthesis on the right side also equal to 0? So it doesn't matter what x is at that point. As long as y is equal to 0, if I make x anything, x can be 500, x can be banana, x can be Logan. Anything times 0, as long as y is 0, will make the whole equation true. So that means as long as you have two parentheses, as long as you have two things multiplying each other and equal to 0, you only need one out of the two. You only need one out of the two to equal to 0 in order for the whole equation to be true. So that's why when you see problems like this, you need to set both the first parentheses here and also the second parentheses here, set them both to 0 and solve. So let's go right ahead and begin. Let me drag this down a little bit. Make sure you have copied that down. So now let's begin. Begin. What if you have a problem x plus 1 times the quantity of x plus 4, it's equal to 0. How would you solve it? Well, just like what we had here, so the first parentheses we can make it 0, and then we can also make the second parentheses equal to 0. Either one equal to 0 will make this entire equation true. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw arrows. So now I can make x plus 1 equal to 0. That will make the whole equation true. Or I can make x plus 4 is equal to 0. And notice right now at this point we want to solve for x. We want to solve for x, and that is a really simple equation that all of us have learned before. So let's go ahead and do the inverse operation. I see a plus 1. If I see a plus 1, then I should subtract 1. So at the end you will get x is equal to negative 1. And then over here on the right hand side, the inverse operation of plus 4 will be minus 4 on both sides. You can actually cross that out over here. And then you will get x is equal to negative 4. All right, so let me do a problem here and have you guys try and see how you guys do, okay? So let's have you guys try. This time we have x minus 9 times the quantity of x plus 2. It's equal to 0. What will you guys do? Why don't you pause the video now and try to do it, and I'm going to come back and show you the answer. All right, is this what you got? Did you guys do the zero product property where you drag the first parenthesis down and make your equation equal to 0, and also have your second equation here also equal to 0 and solve? Okay, great. So now let's have you try another problem. So let's call this, since you're trying again, let's call it try. Let's try. Let me give you this problem and see how you do. What if we have 3x plus 12 quantity squared, it's equal to 0? What would you do? Think about it. Okay, if you remember from what we learned from the last unit, or last part of the unit, anytime you have a parentheses raised to the second power, it implies that you have 2 of them. So if you have 2 of them, then just write it. So here we go. So you have 3x plus 12, that's 1. And then you have another one, 3x plus 12. And you set it equal to 0. Once you get to that part, it is really simple for you guys to do the rest. If you were to drag it down and do your zero product property, you will realize that both equations are true. They're the same. And if they're the same, you only have to do one of them. So let's just do the left one since they're exactly the same. I'm going to subtract 12 first. And then you get 3x is equal to negative 12. And then you guys all know at this point to divide by 3 on both sides. Cross that out. Then I get x is equal to negative 4. And I'm done. I don't need to worry about the second equation over here because it will give me the exact same answer as this. So I will only have one answer at this point. All right. So we're going to do one last problem and should be good to go. So let's go all the way down and do one last problem. Let's call this try. Actually, I'm lazy. Let's do it 3 R's in the middle so that it's try. Nice. So what if I give you 12x times the quantity of 2x minus 5? It's equal to 0. What can you do? I mean, it looks a little different, but the idea is the same. So let's pause this video real quick and see if you can guess what you want to do. Okay, here's the ultimate hint. The hint is when you notice that in the front it's no longer a binomial. Instead, you notice it is just a monomial, right? That's why you write it as if you were going to distribute. But please don't distribute. Instead, this is a term on its own. So what you can do is to actually make a parentheses around it. If you make a parentheses around it, now everything makes sense. Because now you just go do that, you know, ZPP. Let's write that down again. I missed that. ZPP. Zero product property. So let's go ahead and drag down the arrows and write down your 2 equations. 12x is equal to 0. And over here you have 2x minus, ooh, look at that x. I need to work on my handwriting, you know. 2x minus 5, it's equal to 0. Now you have both equations, just solve it. For the first equation, you would divide by 12. And 0 divided by anything is 0. You need that. Okay, and on the right-hand side, you're going to do some math, but that's not challenging to you at all. So let's just add 5 to both sides. You get 2x is equal to 5. And then you divide. Oh no, 5 doesn't go into 2 or 2 doesn't go into 5. What do I do? I'm so worried. Well, hopefully you know it's actually okay to have fractions, right? So let's just leave it as a fraction. X equals 5 over 2. Let me fix that 5 real quick. Okay, and that's it for this lesson. Hopefully you guys learned about ZPP. When you return to class, I expect all of you to just yell at your teachers, ZPP. All right, see ya.